Hey everyone, it's Kayla here, and today I am sharing a layout process for Scraplift 21 on Scrap Squad. This Scraplift has a lot of stitching on it, which I love stitching, so I thought this would be the perfect layout to start my Scrap Squad process videos. So firstly what I did, I printed off a rainbow off of Google Images. I just searched rainbow and printed off one that I thought would work for me. I then used it as a template for poking my holes, ready for doing some hand stitching. For the stitching, I chose some embroidery threads that matched some embellishments that I decided to use. The embellishments actually that I picked had been in my stash for some time, so I was quite pleased to use those up. I'm showing you now that I have done the borders of the rainbow, and now I'm going to come in and do some more stitching up and down the different colours of the rainbow. Now for this bit, I don't think too much about it. I kind of just go for it and hope it turns out okay. There's a few bits that I didn't quite like. But they covered up with my photo, so that was fine. So I'll just show you a little bit of the process of this. For hand stitching, for me, I find it really relaxing. I've not shown you me stitch the entire thing because that would be boring for one, but also when I'm stitching I like to go and sit on the sofa, just because it's a lot more comfortable than the chair that I sit on at my desk. So for stitching I definitely prefer sitting in front of the telly, and I usually binge watch something on Netflix or even process videos on YouTube. So that's all done. I'm now bringing in the embellishments I'm going to use, and my photo is of Darcy. This ephemera is quite an old pack. I think I got it in a Mind the Scrap sale a couple of years ago. I think it must have been a part of a kit. I don't know which one, but I've had it sat in my stash for a while, and I thought it'd work perfectly for this layout because there isn't too much paper. It's more about the embellishments. So I'm backing my photo with some white cardstock just to make it pop on the top of the rainbow. There's so much colour going on within the rainbow, so I wanted the photo to stand out and not get lost, because the colours in the photo, the pinks and things as well, so it would have blended in a little bit too much. For the embellishments, I have kind of pre-picked some out already, which I've put on top within the bowl. I've kept them all though, just in case I'd want to go back through and pick out some of the ones as well. I'm also going to use some of the embellishments for fussy cutting to create different embellishments. Just because I didn't have anything else for this collection, I thought I'd make other things work for me. Now in the original layout there's a lot of things laid behind the photo, which actually inspired me to dig out this pack of embellishments. So I'm going to cut some of them up so that I can have some of the patterns on either side, and there's a frame in there. I think there's a tag as well, and a few other bits and bobs. So yeah, I'm going to layer all those behind the photo, and it does kind of look quite like the original, with all the bits laid behind, so I was really pleased with how that turned out, and it was also an opportunity to use up quite a few bits from this pack. So I've kind of gone off camera there because I keep bringing the photo and things closer to me. I'm still kind of getting used to where I am on the desk to fit under the camera, so I do apologise if I disappear off with what I'm doing. But also my desk is quite small, so it's hard to fit the tripod on, and that's why you can kind of see the legs as well. Um, so I think everything's laid behind the the photo now, and I have brought in some papers that I thought the colours worked quite well. These as well were from a Mind the Scrap sale a couple of years ago, and I'm really trying to use up stash, so I pulled those out as well. And I did cut it out because I disappeared off camera, but I put some of the papers along the bottom. Just to ground it all so it didn't look like everything was going to fall off the page, if that makes sense. So here's where I'm cutting up some of the ephemera, and I'm fussy cutting out the images on them so that I can use them as embellishments on the page. I think there's 2 hearts, and I do fussy cut out the hot air balloon as well. I'm really pleased actually with how they look, and they work really well. And they kind of match the original layout with where embellishments were placed. So for me, when I'm scrap lifting, I do try to stick quite closely to the original. It's very rare that I go off and kind of do my own thing, and I like working with a scrap lift that way. But I do really love how when we set a scrap lift challenge each week that every layout is completely different, even though we've used the same layout for inspiration. Me and the girls love looking through the albums and seeing all the different layouts and different takes on the layouts, and we've said many a times that we've seen so many that we'd actually like to scrap lift the scrap lift. So yeah, we really do love seeing your layouts. I've pulled in some like enamel dots kind of. I can't remember what collection these are from. Again, there's something I think that I got in a sale, or I possibly won these actually in a challenge, and they've been sat in my stash again for quite a while, so I pulled a few of those out and used a couple of those. I think I do go back off camera at the end and add a few more of those. I move them around, but you'll be able to see that in the close-ups. I'm now coming in with my title. I think these are thickers from the Paige Evans Whimsical collection. I could be wrong, but I think that's where they're from. I picked up a couple of packs of these from Hobbycraft, and my title's going to be Smiler. Everyone that meets Darcy, even, she's 4 now, so she's a lot older than in the picture, but even still now, she's such a smiler. She has a smile for everyone. So the title really worked for this layout, and as well for a layout of Darcy. So that's my layout finished, and you'll be able to see the close-ups. And I hope you can join us this week with the scrap lift. Thank you. Bye.